Anyone else want to say hello?
Hello, everybody. Judith, how you doing?
Hi, Judith.
Hi, Judith.
Hi, Judith.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, you're fine, Judith.
Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
Hello, everybody. It's Irene from New Jersey.
Hello, Irene.
Hi, Ellie.
Hello, Bernie from North Carolina. Hello, Bernie.
Hello, Vern.
Hi, Bert.
Hey, everybody. Wayne from South Dakota. Hey, Wayne, how are you? Good, how are you?
Hey, Wayne.
Hi, Wayne.
Hello, Scott, Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Scott, how are you doing?
Hey,
Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Hi, everybody. Good.
Hi.
Howdy.
That's a happy voice.
Oh, I'm always
Very
happy.
upbeat.
Yes, yes.
It's a choice.
Hi. I'm Marie from Fayetteville, Alabama.
Hi, Marie.
Hi, Marie.
Mm-hmm.
A little quiet out there. How many people are still watching the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, the Super Bowl was on.
The Raiders and the Patriots.
Nice.
The Super Bowl.
What's the score?
No idea.
I don't watch it.
3-0
Hey,
halfway
Laura.
through the third period. Hello.
Wow.
Hello, everyone. Melrose from New York. How's everyone today?
Hi, Melrose. This is my first time, and so I'm just listening to you guys. It's wonderful, but this is my first time. So,
It's
well,
my first time,
Okay,
too.
welcome.
thank you.
Yeah.
Have a
Well,
good
this is my first time. This is Charles from Michigan again.
Hey, Charles.
How are you?
We got a lot to
It's
do.
my first time, and I'm Marie
Welcome.
from Fayetteville, Alabama.
Well,
Welcome.
We got
babies
we got
coming
some
in.
good first-time people. That's great. Have
Yeah.
your pencils and paper ready for notes.
Right.
Great to have some new people on. Welcome.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yes, good.
And I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do, so I'll just listen.
Just get back and
That's exactly what I'm going to be doing, listening.
And you'll ask
That's
if you want
good.
to contribute, and you can raise your hand, star too.
Good evening, everyone. Curtis from
Yes.
Florida.
Hey, Curtis.
Hello, hey.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Karen.
Hi,
Juanita.
Juanita.
Hey, Juanita.
Hi.
Hi, Elaine.
Hello,
Karen.
Hello,
Juanita.
Hi, Juanita. Yay, Juanita.
Hello. Hi, Judith.
Hi.
You make it through
Yeah,
all that rain?
Ready, Karen?
A day from an old dog.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
You ready, Karen?
Hi, Tim. I'm ready.
She's always ready.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name's Charlie Moore. I'm here with, what's your name? Karen Abernathy. Well, I'm off to a good start here.
Hello.
And this is the Prime Cure call, right?
Right. Yes, it is.
It's a Monday, so it must be the Prime Cure. Welcome, everybody, to this call tonight. Thank you for picking us over the Super Bowl, and welcome to all the new members who are on. That's great. Let me get rid of some of the announcements first. Well, first of all, Karen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing everything I got to do to get ready for the Wednesday webinar rehearsal.
Yes. Well, that's if we have one. I haven't heard yet, but we might have one Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be ready.
Yes, because we will have that new call coming soon. Don't know when yet. As soon as we do, we will let you know, and you'll probably get a letter in the mail or an email. But anyway, we have a lot to cover tonight, as usual. First, I'm going to talk about the Reach Out program. There's a lot of new members on, so I'll take my time with this one, though. Reach Out program is where we have a list of names of a lot of the members here. And I started this program a couple of years ago, but I started this year with a whole new list. So anyway, if you want to get on this list, to reach out and talk to other people, which is very important here to do that. Connections mean a lot here. So all you got to do is just send me an email. And that email is C as in Charlie, C Moore, MOORE, options, OPTIONS. So it's C Moore options 68 at gmail.com. So if you want to get on the list, just give me your name. I have your email. When you send me the email, your phone number, and the state that you're from. And I'll get you on the list. It comes out once a week. We should have this week's out by Tuesday. So if you give me a call tomorrow, I'll get you on it, and you'll have it Tuesday in your email. It's real important that you get involved in this society as fast as possible because it does help you move and grow. Wouldn't you say that's correct, Karen?
Yeah. Yeah. As much as I hate it too, yes.
I know. Karen had a hard time socializing in the beginning of her career here.
Yes.
But she has stepped out of the shadows, and look at the difference she made already. She's now a mentor, so because she got involved.
That's right.
So that's always a big, big thing. And also with this list this week, this Reach Out program list, also will be included is the new newsletter.
Yay!
Yay! And Brenda Reinhardt has put it together. It looks really good. It has a lot of different things. Yeah, it really does. She has written the first article for it, which is great. But if you want to write an article for the newsletter, just let her know. And that email is Neo News, NEONEWS, neonews101 at gmail.com. So if you have any suggestions for the newsletter or you want to make a comment about it or whatever, Clubhouses, if you want to announce it, we'll put it on there. So all of that's available for you. So just, all of the info is in there. So this is something new that we're starting. And the first one's coming out this week. This is going to be probably a bi-weekly letter. So it'll be out there this week and probably 2 weeks. So look it over, share your comments about it, or if you want to get involved with it or whatever, just let us know. And send an email to that neonews101 at gmail.com. We also have an event coming up on March 30th, and that is the celebration workshop for Steve Fagan. And that is going to be on March 30th. We have Larry Johnson here to talk about it a little more too. So let me call Larry up. Hey, Larry, how are you?
I'm good. I am good, Charlie. How you doing?
Doing good.
That's great. That's great. You know, Charlie, Mark Hamilton's top mentor was Steve Fagan, and he was a trendsetter. He's no longer here with us, but his soul lives on. he will always be here with us, but physically he's not. We miss Steve, because he always had that Neil Think spirit in him. It was a shock to people because Steve, he loved the Neil Think and the creating this new dimension of living we wanted to live in, that whatever was bothering him or agonizing him, when you talk to Steve anytime, because he talked to so many people, he was always upbeat. And whatever that was, he would never let it show, whatever he was going through. And that was, to me, a shining example of somebody who loved what they was doing. And that's what made him the top mentor in this Neil Think Society. And to hear these new people coming on here this evening is a fantastic time. But we're going to be celebrating, the legacy of Steve on March the 30th, 2019. That's on a Saturday. And we think this is truly going to be a remarkable, incredible event, honoring a real Neil Think man, who spent his whole time really creating and pushing and integrating in an honest way with every person that he could touch that came into the Neil Think Society, and it made him a trendsetter in creating this new dimension of living. This event, if you can get there, it'll be worth your while. But not only integrate, but to meet other people who have that same passion, who have read the same information you read, who are like-minded. It's going to be a fantastic event. And it's going to be on the 30th of March, which is a Saturday. And you can, if you're flying in or you're driving in or you need to book a room, it's going to be at the One Hotel Road in Newark, New Jersey, zip code 07114. And it's going to start at 9 in the morning, and it's going to go to 5 p.m. And we're going to be, it's going to be a lot of surprises at this day. Not only, hopefully, new faces, but old faces of people we haven't seen that usually come to these events. And it's going to be a chance for you to merge your energy with some really, really good people who are like-minded and going into the sea of you, creating that world that we want to live in, as so eloquently we read about in the Miss Annabelle story. So you can call 800-997-7970 for details, or you can email, that is info, I-N-F-O, at INTEGRATIONS.com for information on that. And if you want to go ahead and get the tickets now, because I know y'all are looking to come, be with us, bring your big smile here to be in this workshop that's going to be honoring this great man. You can go to Steve Fagan Workshop, Eventbrite.com. That's Steve Fagan Workshop, Eventbrite.com. Closer, Charlie, we get to this, I'm getting excited, about this event because, Steve, as always, was on the cutting edge of putting on different events, over the last, 10 years of all types of events that has been done. And one thing that he had started to get passionate about was bringing Neil Think members together at the different workshops that he did in the New York, New Jersey area. So we want to keep that alive, but we want to celebrate him, in his life legacy of what he's done as one of our top mentors in the Neil Think Society. So,
Charlie, it's hard to hear you.
yeah. Hello?
Charlie?
Charlie? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're very muffled.
Very weak. Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, it's like it's broken up.
Anyway, I'm married. Well, yeah. Bishop, you're asking. It's always
We can understand you.
Yeah, I'm going to shut another phone in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you
Can you hear me now?
but no, it's still really kind of scratchy, Charlie. Maybe if you call back in, get a better connection. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be on in just a second.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know it was an awesome event when I went to it. That was my first time last year in September, and it was just amazing. It was like going to a family reunion where everybody got along. It was, the energy was just awesome.
Yes. Steve always would bring that type of energy, I mean, I remember the first time I met him, and he came with that kind of hard energy that he would always have. I've never seen him that he did not come to an event or in his own, private life when you was in his presence. He always had a very high energy level. Charlie, you there?
Hey, guys, can you hear me now?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It worked all day today, and now it's not working now. So anyway, yes, it's important for us to attend these kind of events since we don't have that many every year. It's always good to meet people from New York. It's going to be a great day. We're going to have a lot of testimonials about Steve, but then we also are going to do, basically, is how to live a Neothink life. That's what this whole workshop's about, though. Steve Fagan lived a Neothink life. And
Yes,
we're going to
he
talk
did.
about what is a Neothink life, how do you get there, how do you live it, how do you do it, and that's what we're going to talk about. All of our Steves, we're going to have an open conversation, and we're going to dig in. So again, we do have the discounts on the room for $115 a night, which is absolutely unbelievably cheap for a Marriott, especially right outside of New York City. If you want to book the room, you can call 973-623-0006 and use the code either Steve Fagan or Neothink, or use both, and that'll get you the discount. And those discounts for the rooms runs from Thursday night to Sunday night, because some people come in for the weekend to go over to New York City, because the event is just the one day, from 9 to 5 on Saturday. So you can call them and get the rooms. If you want to share a room, you can call Juanita, and I don't have her number right here, so I will. It is in the newsletter, though, so have that newsletter. So get on that reach out program so that you get the newsletter. That's the only way that you can get it. I think that's all I want to say about that for now. We only have 8 weeks. That's it, and that's going to be here. It's 7 or 8 weeks, and it's going to be here. It's at the end of March. This is February already. So it's going to be a great event. You'll learn a lot. You'll meet some people. It'll be good to see some old faces. It'll also be very good to see some new faces there. And
Yes.
we always want a good event, and the events are always great at the Marriott. It's a nice place, and so Larry, let's hope we get a lot of people to come. And if you have any questions,
Oh, we will. We're gonna get a lot of people there. We're excited about it. And,
And again, if you have
it's
any
gonna be
questions,
fantastic.
and the number is 800-997-7970. Thank you, Larry.
Oh no, thank you, Charlie.
All right. Now let's get Tim up here to start the call. Hold on, Tim. Let me call you up here. All right, Tim. How are you tonight?
On the right side of the polar vortex, sir. And how are you?
Good. It's nice. It was nice. It was a nice day today. It was in the 40s. I tell you, I felt like it was in the 80s.
felt great.
Boy, wasn't that the
Same
case?
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have the nice change in weather. So why don't you start us off with your
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, that was something else. I don't know how people up in the polar areas or Antarctic areas do it, but anyhow, we're gonna have some heat, some energy on this call, and I'm looking forward to what's in store. But let's do this song and let's get going. Thanks for calling in. We have a lot to do today. We want to make you think and maybe smile along the way. In this world, there's much we're going through. We don't want the pain to stay with you. Now we've done some power thinking. There's so much we want to do. We hope you see the value. We hope you see it through. Because life can be worth living forever and a day. There's just some of this world we have to change. So you're rejoicing with your lover in the summer of your love. Yeah, this could happen daily, less won't have to be enough. We want to write a storybook with you and find the cure for what you used to choose. Because it doesn't matter what I say or how much I claim it's true, how many pretty words I write or how much I promise you, how many pretty words I say, how much I share them all with you. An idea has no power till it's used. You'll know how much I care for what I do. So we're glad you made the call and you stopped to hear a song. We want to change the world and want you to come along to where your partners are your friends and goodwill is what you feel. Where love's the labor all of us will see. Where you get to live your essence and truly live your dream.
Thank you, Tim.
All right.
Thank you.
Good way to start off. And I got a short opening statement for tonight, and then we're going to call Kay up, so Kay hit star 2. This is a universal declaration of thinkers' rights, and that's what we're supposed to be as thinkers. Number 1, as thinkers, we have the right to use thinking in a quiet and confident manner. Number 2, as thinkers, we have the right to have pride in our thinking skill. Number 3, as thinkers, we have the right to use that skill and to consider a thinking reaction rather than a reaction based on emotion or experience alone. The thinking might make use of experience and emotion, but these would be part of the thinking instead of controlling it. Number 4, a thinker has the right to escape from current views of situations and to search for much better views of situations. 5, a thinker has the universal right to be wrong. I think that's an important one. A thinker has the universal right to be wrong. 6, a thinker does not have to defend a point of view at all costs. There is the right to see other points of view and the right to design a much better decision. Number 7, a thinker has the right to acquire wisdom or to seek it whenever it may be found. Wisdom is quite distinct from the sort of cleverness that is taught in school. Cleverness may be useful for dealing with set prizes or defending local truths, but wisdom is required for designing a safer future. 8, a thinker has the right to get on with his or her own work and to get along with other thinkers. And if things go wrong, a thinker has the right to think things through and to fix them without creating a fuss. 9, a thinker has the right to spell out all the factors involved in a situation and also the reasons behind a decision. And 10, above all, a thinker has the right to be asked to think about something, to focus thinking in a deliberate manner upon any subject. Thinking can be used as a tool by the thinker at will. The use of this tool can be enjoyable whatever the outcome. This applied thinking is practical, the sort of thinking that is required to get things done. NeoThink stands for new thinking. We must become thinkers. We have a right to do it.
It's our basic right to think on our own. And that's what this call and that's what these books and everything that we're reading is about. So, Karen, any comments on that before we move on?
It is required to get things done.
That's it.
That is for sure. You got to think. You got to initiate the thinking instead of being a follower.
Right. And it should be conceptual thinking.
Yes. Yes.
And that's
Putting the
a big
pieces
part of it.
together.
Yeah. All right. It's time for our meditation moment, or 2 or 3 or 4. And I'd like to bring up Kay. So, Kay, it's all yours.
Yeah, hi, Charlie. Hi, Karen.
How are
Hi,
you?
Kay.
Was very good introduction, and I'll get started on what I'm going to present. I have an article here. Here's how to hire your IQ, and it comes from a website.
I'm going to interfere with this.
Did you know?
Hi, this is Big V here. It's Super Bowl Sunday. It's Sunday evening. And this is a call that normally was happening on Monday nights. They have changed it over to Sunday night because Monday night is no longer happening. Meditation, judge it for yourself, folks. All I'm going to say is judge it for yourself. By the way, I'm gonna just say to everyone that Steve Fagan, when I listen to this call on Sunday night, I can't help but think about Steve Fagan. Steve Fagan comes to my mind, listening to this call, listening to Charlie Moore on there with a different person. Tell you, things are definitely not the same without Steve Fagan. I can't get over it. I know a lot of people would say, well, Big V, just get over it. Well, sorry, I'm accustomed to one type of voice, and Steve Fagan, I think I'm safe to say Steve Fagan was the heartbeat. He was the center of the heartbeat of the Neothink Society. I think I'm very safe in saying Steve Fagan was the center heart. He was the center of a heart, and he was causing that heart to beat mighty nicely. And I can kind of tell the heartbeat has slowed down a little bit because you just don't have the, no mentor has the voice of Steve Fagan. They don't have the excitement that Steve Fagan brought to the Neothink Society. Neothink is a wonderful a wonderful organization to be part of, especially if you get the invitation to join the Neothink Society. It's a great spot to participate and be part of. So take the liberties of when you get the invitation letter, call the number. Don't order with that order form. Call the number on the order form and order your manuscript that way. Don't ever fill out the order form. Call the phone number on the order form and order your book that way. But always ask for a confirmation number with the operator that you speak with. Always ask for a confirmation number. Very wise. So this is a Big V's time. I'm not gonna. There's some things I question whether meditation is the right thing. I question about meditation. Everyone has a right to question what they want. Maybe some people may disagree with me, but this is a Vincent moment then. I'm going to have a Vincent moment on Sunday nights. So you're going to get me on Sunday night. So let me share about the society, about my experience with the society. I have my letters all right here in front of me. I have the very first letter when I ordered, when I first got my first book. And there it is. That is the wrong address. But that's the very first letter I got. There it is. By the way, I have all the letters to all the books I ordered. The order forms look like something like that. But there's a phone number on the bottom of the order form that you can dial and call. Never fill that out. Don't ever fill this out and send it in. Always call the phone number on the order form and order your books that way and keep it safe. I have all my letters from Mr. Mark Hamilton. I think it was very wise. My program has eventually, my social media program has moved to Saturday mornings at 9:30 a.m. now. No longer on Wednesdays due to my schedule being changed and some adjustments needed to be made. So I moved my programs to Saturday morning at 9:30. I've done it for 2 weeks already. This past Saturday was about 2.5 hours long. The Saturday before was about 1 hour and 37 minutes. And then this would be this past Saturday would have been the third week because the very first Saturday was over 3 hours. So it was an excellent program. And a lot of the YouTube videos get exposed on my social media event where NeoThink and NeoTech information gets spread to the public. So they get a little taste of the NeoThink Society itself. I think there's no better way of presenting NeoThink and NeoTech to the general public by I don't think you can just talk about it. You have to let them hear it and feel it to let them really get a good feel of what the NeoThink Society is really about. So that's my opinion. And this program will be played on my social media event down the line. It is Sunday night. We're going to go back to the call. So hold on just a second. They're doing a lot of this meditation. Meditation's good if you want to do it, but I'm not going to broadcast meditation every Sunday night because I'm totally, I'm not so sure if I agree with it. That's my problem. So, by the way, Steve Fagan and Kay Samlin, the one that's presenting the meditation, there is a YouTube video of their last Tuesday morning program that they did before 2018 was over. It is recorded, it is live streamed, and you can go back and listen to that program as well. It's the full entire 2-hour program that you get to hear. I was there, I live streamed it. It wasn't a call that I normally go to on Tuesday mornings. And by the way, that call is no longer happening either, which is sad to see and hear and know that that's not going to happen. Here in Portland, Oregon, the weather is going to get mighty cold here tonight. We're supposed to get down to 26 degrees, and there's talk about possible snow here in Portland, Oregon on this February the 3rd of 2019. So we're going to get back to the call here in just a moment. Just stay tuned. I'll be right back. We are taking a little break because they're doing the meditation. I'm not here to do meditation. I'm not here to advertise meditation. I'm not against it. It's just something I'm not going to advertise. That's the nice thing about doing this live stream. I can cut out whatever I feel like cutting out. Hold on just a second. So this is Big V, and by the way, I'm going to advertise something. If you have cramps in your legs and you get cramps in your legs, this does help. Calcium with vitamin D3 does help with the cramps in the legs. Helps big time. The other thing, if you're getting sick, like colds or sore throats, this also helps with your immune system. Those are the two things, and then vitamin C is another thing I'd highly recommend. And by the way, get organic orange juice. Seems to be a kicker in my view. We'll go back to the call here in just a few minutes. Now, back in the day when Steve Fagan was on Sunday night, this was the book that he used to mentor on, the Powers book. As you can tell, I am doing a study on the Powers book. So this was the book at one time that Steve Fagan used to mentor. So I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, we're going to go back to the call. Thank you.
We are basically covering the Prime Cure book, and we really are starting from the beginning, and we're going to go through it every page. So it's going to take us about 20 years to go through it all, but that's okay, as long as we are learning. But Karen's going to start us off, and she's going to talk about the treatments that Mark talks about in the Prime Cure. They have to understand, though, is that the Prime Cure, it was written for one reason: biological immortality. That is the goal of Neothink. That's our premier goal. I know a lot of people here don't quite understand that. I know a lot of people here don't really believe in it yet, and that's fine. Once you start to move forward in Neothink, and once you start getting what this is all about, it's automatically the next integration for you, because death makes no sense. It's not logical. It's not practical. It's nothing. No one should die. But we have to get our mentality wrapped around it, and that's what this whole book is about, all 3,000 pages of it, basically. And these treatments, it's what Karen's going to briefly cover tonight, and then as we go through, we will be talking about them a lot more in detail. Because no one really looks into the future, and that's what we have to start doing. So, Karen, it's all yours.
Okay. Treatment 1 and 2 are focused on a lack of demand. Treatment 1, Neothink Business Secrets for a Wealthy, Creation-Driven Life, removes the obstacle to creativity, wealth, happiness, and the desire to live forever. Why was the worldwide drive to cure aging missing from the world stage? People didn't want to live too long. Without a demand for it, the cure for aging would not happen. The problem is the human mind was designed to create and requires creativity to remain healthy and growing. No creating equals stagnation. And a stagnant mind does not want to live too long. I myself had already decided that I did not want to live too long in this world, much less live forever in it, if that meant staying in a job I was in or continuing to struggle financially like I had been doing for so long. Then Neothink came into my life, and I found a way out of that stagnant life, the Neothink business system. You see, the business and job structure was wrong and promoted stagnation, thinking in a specialized, stagnant way, as opposed to thinking creatively and working to produce values. So Mark Hamilton created the NeoThink business system in order that your job or business could be your source of creativity and creation. By creating the NeoThink business system, we could rise above stagnation and experience the exhilarating, creation-driven life we were meant to live. Therefore, a deep-rooted desire for living longer would sprout and grow. How about you, Charlie? Before NeoThink, did you really think about or even want to live forever in this stagnant world?
Not in this world, no. I did think about if we could live longer, which I always thought was a pretty neat idea.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, we have to really start to understand, I think, NeoThink at all, and then also to understand about living, you know, either a lot longer or forever, is that we have to make our minds creative, as they were meant to be. We have to start thinking in creations. And the more that you think in creations, the more you think to create your own life and to move forward in yours, and that's going to obviously put a positive effect out there for everybody. And that's, you know, because like basically, if you walk down the street and ask people 2 questions, do you want to die? And most people will say no. But then if you ask them the same, just ask them a different question, well, would you like to live forever? You know, no one wants to die, but no one wants to live forever. It's really, because no one wants to live. There's no demands for us to live longer, because who the hell wants to live in this world forever? This is like living in hell.
For sure.
You know what I mean? You know, so that's why we have to change our mentality, and the world has to change it, because once the world, I mean, you know, there's diseases will be cured, with or without NeoThink. Obviously, it will be faster with NeoThink, but it's still going to happen eventually. The technology can't be just buried forever. So yes, I mean, you know, my mentality is wrapped around that idea, and I love it. So continue.
All right. Treatment 2. The 12 visions that takes us to into the rich and happy immortal world. Remove the obstacle to creation, motivation, and the desire to live forever again. A look into the future 12 vision world, the civilization and universe, includes thinking about a better future for yourself. Think and imagine removing all stagnation, being filled with exhilarating thrill of life every day. Think and imagine being the value creator with an exhilarating job and business. You and your beautiful spouse, even the one you have now, with beautiful bodies and minds, having freedom and pure peace, having abundant wealth and health. Therefore, a deep-rooted desire could now grow stronger. That is the 12 visions world in which we are living the life we were meant to live, a life worth living for. That kind of life ignites the worldwide drive for curing aging and ending death. Charlie, does the 12 visions create that desire in you to live longer and think toward the cure for aging?
Yes, if you start living the 12 visions, if you found your essence, if you're living a life that you want to live, if you're living a healthy life, if you become a genius, all the things that's in those 12 visions. If you start living the 12 visions, you're a God man. You are creating your own world. You are moving forward. You're not being involved in this AC world, and you definitely believe at this point in biological immortality. But we have to start living those 12 visions. They aren't just there for nothing. And again, it goes back to being creative. If everybody in this world lived their essence, do you think the world would be this way?
No.
Not at all, because you have over 7 billion people on this planet, and 99.99999% of them will not live in their essence. So you have 7 billion angry people out there who are not happy with their life. But imagine if 7 billion people were living their life, was living their dreams. We wouldn't need these calls anymore.
Be more
Keep
peaceful.
going. Yeah.
All right.
Happy.
Treatment 3 is focused on lack of freedom. Treatment 3. Neothink political paradigm for wealth, health, and peace, and the freedom to cure aging. Remove the obstacle to wealth, health, and freedom, and super rapidly advancing new technology. This involves rethinking our political system, thinking about how our current system really works. The ruling class, backed by initiatory force, is full of destructive political agenda laws, political agenda regulations, and political agenda justice that holds back progress and technology. Mark Hamilton's new political system, the 12 Visions Party, or TVP, backed by the Prime Law, is a political movement of no ruling class and no initiatory force, and it is without any destructive political agendas. Treatment 3 provides the path to depoliticize America, along with business and science, including the medical field, so that entrepreneurs, doctors, and scientists could race forward uninhibited toward the cure for aging. Charlie, without spending the rest of the call on it, what are your thoughts on Treatment 3 and the two political systems mentioned, the ruling class system and the TVP movement?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's, we have to get the 12 Visions Party back active, and we have to start moving on that. We're under this two-party system. Today was the best day we have left. Of course, tomorrow it's only going to get worse. Then the next day is only going to get worse. This world will never get better under a two-party system. Can't. It's impossible. It's just not going to happen. Until we get the prime law as the law of the land, none of this will happen. And it's just going to continue to get bad and bad and bad. And the way a whole bunch of these experts are talking now, debt is going to bring down this world this year. Debt. Everybody's in debt. Companies are in debt. Governments are in debt. People are in debt. We're setting records for debt. So it's getting scary out there if something doesn't change soon. So we have to start to think about the 12 Visions Party. It's on hold right now, and that's a shame, but it's going to be on hold until we get enough people to stand up and say, let's start this up again. So I would suggest everybody start reading more about the 12 Visions Party, and because we can never grow with politics out there. Never.
No.
But this world gets better with politics. So, yeah, I can go on all night about this, but we'll stop.
Okay. Treatment 4 is focused on lack of integrated conceptual thinking and being a self-leader. Treatment 4, Neothink mentality needed to cure aging. Remove obstacles to our next evolutionary leap. To accomplish treatment 1, 2, and 3, it requires the self-leader mode of integrated thinking as opposed to the following mode of specialized thinking we see all around us today. It requires a consciousness mentality as opposed to a bicameral mentality. Mark Hamilton calls this new way of thinking Neothink. Neothink puts together like puzzle pieces into a puzzle. When the puzzle picture is formed, new knowledge and breakthroughs happen that have never been seen before. This type of thinking Mr. Hamilton uses to break through each of these 7 treatments. It is what is needed to break through the cure for aging. By teaching us to think differently and become self-leaders, we could break away from following other leaders. Doing this could allow us as self-leaders to discover our deep motivational roots and creative passions and end up living the lives we were meant to live. The Neothink mentality is needed to experience the exhilarating, creation-driven life suited to live far longer than 7 or 8 decades. Charlie, what's your experience using the new way of thinking, Neothink mentality?
It makes life happy. It makes life worth living.
Yeah.
When you finally start to live your essence, and it doesn't matter what your age is, it just doesn't matter. But when you start to live your essence, every day is joy. You know, you get up in the morning, you feel better, you're anxious to start the day, you know that you're going to learn new things every day, and you know that that you will never go back to your old life. This is about finding out who we are. I mean, you know, I never want to go back there. You know, just forget it. I don't think anybody here on the phone want to go back to where we were before we came here. But it all starts with conceptual thinking. It's just, you got to dig into yourself. You got to find out what's stopping you from growing, what's stopping you completely. You know, you have to look at your fears. You have to look at everything constantly, over and over again, and start applying. This is the cure right in our hands here. All these books, that's the cure for us and for everyone else. But when you start living the life that you want to live, the last thing you want to do is die, because it makes even more. It makes so much more sense to live than to die, and death being so illogical, it means so much more to us that it is a crime to die when you know that we could live forever. When you know that that's right here, it's not that far away. But we have to change our mentality first before we can start changing the world's. So we have to work on our mentalities at all time. And doing that is basically reading these books and putting it into action. Getting on these calls as much. All the basic things, and that's what we're going to talk about through this whole book. Each week is we're going to dig into the details of this to show you how to do it. But you have to do it. Karen can't do it for you. I can't do it for you. You know, I coach a lot of people here as a life coach, and I tell them I got the easy job. I can just tell you, you know, the things that you can do to improve your life, but I can't do that for you. You got to do that. That's it for me.
All right. So, you get the next 3 treatments.
Well, the next is going to be really quick, because everybody knows what the next 3 are. Treatment 5, 6, and 7 are basically the 3 parts of Miss Annabelle, the super puzzle. All right? That book is based on the first 1 and 2 key books of Neothink. You know, because Mark calls it a faction. All right? It's a fiction story, but it's based on facts. The one thing that I think, you know, mostly 95% of the people here, that is the favorite book by most people here is Miss Annabelle. Everybody loves Miss Annabelle. You know, you have to. It's a fantastic story. But there's so much more knowledge in that book than what we perceive. Because we read it as a story instead of reading it as Neothink and Neotech. And then to really get in between the lines there. But it's a book that we have to look at it and say, yes, this can all happen. And look what could happen if you take 12 students in 3rd grade and you teach them Neothink. You know, one of my goals here is to start a school someday, a Neothink school. I would love to do that. And just get kids when they're 5 and 6 years old and let their minds just run wild instead of putting them in a box.
Yeah.
You know, and kids by the time they're 10 years old can have their essence already. It's a crime to what we do to the minds of our children. It was a crime to what they did with our minds when we were kids. But our parents didn't know it. They were just part of that whole process like we were with our kids. It's a system that has to stop because it's killing this planet. So by reading Miss Annabelle, and I know that most of the people on this call got that as the first book, was Miss Annabelle. I got the 1 and 2 key books before I got Miss Annabelle. And I always thought that was a better way of going, but I'm probably just a little biased because I got it the other way around. And so when I read Miss Annabelle, I understood a lot more of it because I knew that it was coming off of those first 2 books. But it's an important book. It's just as important as everything else, but it is everyone's favorite, and I can understand why. But go back and read it again if you have a chance to, because all of these books should be read over and over again. That's how we really grasp all of this knowledge. Karen, it was a great job, and I can't wait to dig into these 7 treatments.
Yeah.
It'll be fun for the next year or two to do this. So stay with us, people, especially the newer people. Just come on this call every week, and we will take you through it all and help you understand it all. That's what we're here for. So what I'm going to cover tonight is a little bit of what we covered last week. But there's this one paragraph on page 13 in The Crime Cure. It's a short little paragraph. It's like 2 sentences, but that's what my talk's going to be on tonight. And it says here, it says, our innate ability to create values, creation, exhilarates us and brings us abiding happiness. By contrast, our inability to create values, stagnation, drains us and brings us unhappiness and eventually depression. No one wants to live too long with stagnation, unhappiness, and depression. Short little 3-sentence paragraph. That's got so much nuggets in there, it's unbelievable. All right? Stagnation is like one of the worst words we can talk about or even think or feel. And I know all of us at one point in time in our lives, if not more than one point in time, felt stagnated. Felt like we weren't moving forward. Felt like we were stuck. And I bet you all of you felt stuck when you came here. I know I did. I know Karen did. I know a lot of people here just felt like life just wasn't going the way that you wanted, and you had no idea how to change it. I tried everything before I came here, it seemed like, and nothing worked, so this was like my last effort. I mean, basically, if this didn't work with me or think, I probably wouldn't even be alive today, to be honest with you, because I was ready to give up on everything. But sometimes I go outside the books and I read some other books, and I really want to stress on this, and I really want to make it important about why don't we move forward before near-think? Why is it always so hard for us to live our dreams, to be happy, to have money, to enjoy life? Why do we have to live a burden of life? I don't think our purpose in life was to come to this planet at this point in time and be living under a burden of life. It just makes no sense. We're in this universe that has so much power, so much energy, and we're part of this universe, and no way is this world supposed to be the way it is. I want to look at this tonight as why it is this way now, from a different point of view. I'm reading this book. It's a very short book, it's like 50 or 60 pages. It's called The New Age of Intelligence. And basically it's about, and Paul Rosenberg and Jonathan Logan wrote it. I'm a big fan of Paul Rosenberg, because I read about 3 or 4 of his other books. And he's very into the future and thinking logically and longer and everything else. But he writes it in this book, and it's about how information is gathered. And all this information out there is it's all gathered to find out about us.
No worries.
People we have no privacy
I always
about.
appreciate it.
Okay? And if you think there is something left, it's not. They know everything that we do, every minute of the day, just about. It's scary. It sounds like 1984, and it is basically. But this whole world's turning into espionage because one country, if they have the advantage over the knowledge that they have about its people, that's an advantage that they can take and use over some other country too, because they're finding out about this other country. Then that country has to find out more. It's just a back and forth game out there, and it's really scary, the information that they can get, like from Google and YouTube and everything else that's out there. These corporations are really evil. But he's looking at this as why we can't get ahead. And this is what they have done to us, all right? And I'm just going to pick it up, follow me for a minute, and then you'll start to feel what he's trying to say. And he's talking about these arrows, which is basically steps, and he says that the second arrow is the end of the implicit deal made between 20th century states and their obedient citizens. The working man's deal was rather self-specified, but all of us who grew up in the West through the heart of the 20th century know it well. If you obey authority and support the system, you'll be able to get a decent job. And if you work hard at your life, you'll be able to buy a house and raise a small family. That was the code. And that was the code our grandparents lived under, that was the code our parents lived under, and that's the code that people are living under today. But this is what we were taught in school and on TV. It's the deal our parents and grandparents clung to. And it was even a fairly open deal. You could fight for the political faction of your choice, and you could hold any number of religious and secular alliances so long as you stayed loyal to the system overall. You can make a little noise here and there, but as long as you followed and stayed in line, they wouldn't bother you. So among current 20 and 30-year-olds, only about half are able to grasp the deal's promises. That half is working wildly, putting up with malignant corporations and struggling to keep ahead of the curve. The other half is dejected and discouraged, taking student loans to chase degrees. There's more status in that than working at McDonald's, or else pacified with government handouts and distracted by Facebook. The deal is plainly unavailable to about half of our young generation. True hope dies slowly, and young people raised on promises are still waiting for the deal to kick in. It's all they know. Now, how sad is that? Under these conditions, the sovereign states will have to take strong actions if they wish to hold things together. Either they or they have to pull back on taxes and regulations, which they cannot be seen doing. If their image of power and confidence fails, the automatic compliance of the populace would likely fail with it. They are, therefore, forced into measures like these, okay? And this is how they control us. They keep the jobless on the dole. In other words, people with plenty of food, flat-screen TVs, and refrigerators full of beer don't often rebel, even if they aren't employed. Keep fear alive. That line, keep fear alive, is an actual quote from an FBI official, by the way. And it makes good sense that in a Machiavellian sort of way, which is basically a dishonest way, a two-faced way, an evil way, if you want a group of humans to remain dependent upon you, you keep them in fear. Okay? We fear any outside authority. We fear the IRS. We fear the police. We fear the government. We fear this. We fear that. All right? Because we know that they can just throw us in jail anymore, and who cares? And then they keep us distracted. Unemployed people have often been a problem because they lack structure in their lives and become easily agitated. Distraction tends to solve that problem. And smartphones are, to be very real at a very serious extent, distraction terminals. This is one area.
And they get them for free.
And they get them for free. All right? Smartphones. I mean, how many people do you see? Their faces are in the phone all day long. It just wastes time. It's a time waster. It keeps them distracted from what's going on in life. And there's no bigger example than that, the cell phone. This is one area which the needs of the networks and the state coincide. And then they retake the narrative. As we complete this book, a new effort of this type, censorship under the guise of protecting democracy from fake news, is making the rounds worldwide. Whether or not this effort works, it is precisely the type of thing that states will have to do if they wish to continue. Network power has no reason to object to this, leaving the response of the public as the only serious obstacle. So what happens now? Well, we have no vision. The one effect answer that stands in front of the states is to cooperate on a local scale again and to arrange a coordinated decline. In order to do this, the field of view for the average citizen must be narrated constantly. The concept of outside, as we noted at the end of the last chapter, must be eliminated, and the range of human action move forward step by step. To really, this is 50-some pages of this, and I tell you, this book scares the hell out of me because it's all true. In other words, the people must be deprived of any independent sense of vision, if any sense of purpose, save for that for which is authorized. All right, they don't want you to find out your essence. They don't want you to find your purpose in life. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be independent. They want you with no vision and just want you as a clone out there. And please understand, I'm not trying to scare you. This is the reality of it. And of course, this is precisely what has been imposed upon the general Western populace for the past generation. Great goals have been either regulated to the distant future, appearing only in fiction, or have been rolled onto the state in its glorious democracy. Without vision, however, and as the Bible notes, the people perish. People with no sense of vision, no overarching sense of a worthy and righteous purpose, stagnate. This world is stagnant. To the very real extent that progress is already underway, but it is unlikely to succeed, as castles always compete vigorously with one another, and a stagnation state is too attractive a target for the others to ignore. Thus, competition between states, which it really means countries, which unfortunately may lead to war, is likely to doom the coordinated decline strategy. All right? They have no purpose anymore, government or church, to do anything for us. All they want is our money. They want to keep us stagnant with no vision, no hope for the future, and die. That is why nobody has this mentality out there for biological immortality. That is why we on this phone call came to neo-think. This is why we have to learn this information and live it. It's our only chance of survival. But we're not doing that because it's so hard to break this mode. And we have to start. So this is, but every word in the Prime Cure, every sentence, every word, every syllable is all geared towards biological immortality. Something that we desperately need to change our mentality for. When my grandfather died at 5, and I asked people, why did Pop have to die? Because that was my first dealing with death. And this man was like a giant to me. He was like everything. And nobody could give me an answer. You know, it's God's will and all that crap that goes with that. And my whole life, I just knew that we weren't supposed to die. I didn't know why, because it didn't make sense to me as a kid. It still makes no sense to me as an adult. I'm 68 now, so for 63 years, death has never made sense to me. And nobody could give me an answer why it does make sense. Think about that. There's no sense in dying. There's no sense in us living in a world where we have no shot to win. You know, it's like if you go to a casino, eventually they're going to take all your money. Well, here it's the same thing. The odds against us are unbelievable. Only a few escape it. There's only so many Steve Jobs and Thomas Edisons and Henry Fords out there. There are 7 billion people on this planet. How many great inventors have there been? Not as many as there should have been. There should be right now 7 million inventors out there. 7 billion, I mean. Because we all have this great conscious mind. We all should be living our essence. We all should be doing something. We all should be putting more into society than taking out. What does the government do to put anything into society? What they do is drain us. What does the church do? They don't put anything into society. They just drain us of our money too. And then they give us a whole bunch of crap about we have to die and that we're all going to go burn in hell. We're on our own out here. We have to start making that change. We have to start to think in integrations and conceptual thinking. Think in pictures. That's one of the first steps of all of this. Just think in pictures. See yourself living your life. I came here because Mark said you can your own future. You'll be able to see it in the future. And I'm thinking, wow, if that's all I get out of this, I'm ahead of the game. And he was right. I started to think of what I wanted to do. I started to do it. And I could see myself doing it. And all of a sudden, I was doing it. This is one of my essences. Teaching Neo thing, life coaching, all that is what I was here to do. So I look forward to every day. And I'm having a ball doing it. We all have to have that. Karen, do you have anything that you'd like to add to that?
Wow. He has got it. He's got it right. Keep the jobless on the dole. Keep fear alive. They're doing that really good. He didn't add separate everybody, make them hate each other. Keep them distracted. That's the big thing right now. Distracted with football games. Distracted,
Well,
let's get a TV the size of our wall,
Yeah. This is the perfect day to talk about distraction, the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Down tonight, I figured it would be because a lot of people chose, and they have a right to do that, but they chose to watch the football game,
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Or the
a
commercials.
distraction. Commercials, it's just that why do you think sports has become bigger every year? It's a distraction. That's how they want it. Understand that. They're just playing us. Okay?
Yeah.
Why is there casinos in every state anymore? It's another distraction. Why are drugs so high? Why is smoking still pretty high? Why are all these vices out there? Because we're looking to get out of our stagnant lives. Yeah, video games. All that is basically, we always are looking on the outside for our exhilaration. And that's why all of these things are all popular and make billions of dollars a year. But nobody's looking inside to get, we should be getting all of this exhilaration from ourselves by the lives that we are living. And we're not. We're going outside for everything. Sure, 18 zillion people watched the Super Bowl tonight. All right? They watched a bunch of millionaires and billionaires. While we sit here with no money. And we watch them have the exhilaration. Sure, the team who wins tonight has a lot of exhilaration, but those people are living their essence. See what happens when you live their essence? They're making millions and millions of dollars a year to play a game. A game that doesn't affect the world, except that it does create jobs, but it stops us from moving forward. Now, it's a 3-hour game, 3.5-hour game, right? So, but the people who didn't come on this call tonight to watch a 3.5-hour game, what did those 3.5 hours do for them today?
Nothing.
Or basically, if they were watching, because the pregame goes on about 2 in the afternoon, I think, anymore, and it's all day long.
Yeah.
What did that produce? What values did that create for that person?
They just escape from their stagnant burden of life. That's all.
That's it. It's just an escape. So that's how you have to look at these things. I'm not saying you have to give up TV. I'm not saying you have to give up sports. I mean, I still watch a ball game once in a while, but it's just that I don't watch it all the time anymore because I have better things to do. I don't need my exhilaration from the outside anymore. I'm starting to build my own exhilaration by what I'm doing every day. That's what we have to do. Be wise that they're just playing us at all times. And now you have these Democrats coming out there, and they're all going to run for president, and all they talk about is taking more money from us.
Yeah.
For why? I mean, they don't say anything else. I'm going to tax you more. And people are applauding and cheering them. Are we a bunch of morons anymore? I can't believe this stuff. It's unbelievable how crazy they are. And people are, that's what we got to do. We got to tax more because I want the free stuff. People think, geez, I can get a free here, I get a free school, and I can get a free house, I get a free this and a free that. You have no life. You are controlled, and people are cheering this on. Nothing's free. When do we? Oh, well, the rich has to pay for all this. Why? What's the incentive for? Well, basically, I'm looking at this now, and some of them want to also tax our wealth. In other words, they're going to tax how much you make, and if you make over $50 million, you got to pay what your wealth is now, right? What your house is worth, what cash you have in the bank, and all your assets, and they want to charge you extra on that too. All right. And I was reading an article. I think today I was reading it, where there's 9 countries in Europe. Europe is socialism, right? And there's 9 countries there who stopped this wealth tax because it didn't work. The millionaires and the billionaires were leaving those countries. Everybody left because they're mobile. They can move. And yet they want to do it here. And people are applauding this. And then they want to raise the death tax even higher. So not only do we rob this guy every day, we're going to rob him after he dies to where his family's broke. I mean, and people are applauding this. This is a sick society anymore. And we've got to become aware of it.
They're applauding it because they're followers, and they don't think. They're not thinking. They're just going, yeah, that sounds great, without thinking about anything.
Yeah, because the government never taught us to think. They don't want us to think. School, if you look at the school, the education system in the country is basically, it's like
I want to make a comment about the 12 Visions Party. You heard them talk about the 12 Visions Party just a little bit ago. Well, they had the Tuesday night call there for a good couple years. Not one time did they take the advantage of talking about 12 Visions Party and get some ideas of how they could work that 12 Visions Party out. Not one time. They had these ridiculous guest speakers come up and give a bunch of speeches about anti-government, anti-banking, anti-this, anti-that, and all. But none of those speakers talked about 12 Visions Party. Not a damn one of them. Makes me mad when I hear about the 12 Visions Party, but they never give opportunity for ideas because they're afraid of motives and agendas that people bring to the table. And hold on just a second. And so it makes me mad when I hear about them gripe and bitch about 12 Visions Party when they have opportunity for 12 Visions Party, but they never take the advantage of. Tuesday night was an advantage for them to take the 12 Visions Party and work on it, but they never did it one time throughout the whole time they mentored that call. Even when Steve Fagan was around, they never took one opportunity to bring up 12 Visions Party and talk about new ideas. Let alone they have opportunities, but everyone's afraid of agendas and ideas and personal motives and all that stuff. The other thing is they have a chairman that's I question the chairman. His name is Dave Dakota. I question him to no end. I think he's a load of crap. And, I'm kind of glad 12 Visions Party is on hold right now, but I have a major issue with them bitching about 12 Visions Party when they have plenty of opportunity to discuss the 12 Visions Party as a group. It's not a selective group. It's not a selective members. We're supposed to be working as a group. When was the last time we worked as a group? It's been a long time since that's happened. Group effort, I haven't seen it in this society in a long time. It's all about individuals, selective individuals that run certain things in the society. What happened to the group in this society? We don't have it. It's a disaster because we're afraid of personal agendas and personal motives. So that's my spiel on the 12 Visions Party. Thanks. We're going to go back to the call.
Looking at the history of the people with such knowledge and such technology and yet we'll go down as a bunch of ignorant people. And it's so
Yeah.
true. We are becoming ignorant. We don't even know what we're missing. We don't even know that we don't know anything. And
Well, let's
even
be
if
different.
you show, it's incredible. But anyway, anybody has any questions or comments or whatever, just hit star 2